克风还是我的麦克风很高？我这边是关的。
哦，我的没关。
Good morning, everyone. Today is our second time of our live streaming for sharing our experience. Today's topic will be cross-industry sharing and also some success case. This part will be held by 3 different teachers, and then we will go through our background and experience. Now, my experience is that I am the founder member and president of the Chinese Yifang Beauty Association, and I'm also the judge for various international beauty pageants. And also, I am the vice president of the INFA School of Taiwan, and also I'm the director for training the lecturers at our INFA School of Taiwan. Today, we will have 3 speakers here today with us. Basically, we will cover 7 parts. The first is Kevin, teacher. Kevin will talk to us about his experience. How did he transfer from an international trader to the beauty industry? And then he will also introduce us how do we cross industrial alliance with Chinese medicine and the beauty industry, because right now the trend is a general health industry. How do we fulfill these kind of alliances between different industry? And also we will talk about how do we defeat this pandemic, how do we overcome this, how do we overcome the sales in this pandemic. And this will be covered by our Sergis lecture, and then we will also talk about how do we defeat beauty clinics. So there are 6 topics that we will cover today, and then it also includes sure space and integrated marketing, and we will also talk about our tailor-made 5-element cosmetics. So we will have 7 sharings today, and next, after the experience sharing, we will leave some time for the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, feel free to write it down first, or you can leave it in the chat box, and our staff will look at it and we will answer all your questions in the Q&A session by the 3 of us. The next part, I will hand over to our consultant, Ling. Hello, everyone. My name is Sergis Ling. Basically, I am helping enterprises with the beauty industry. That includes the aesthetic medicine and also some beauty clinics. So I will share my experience when it comes to COVID-19. How do we still strive our business when we're in the middle of the pandemic? Also, I will talk about the challenges that we face. And if you are having a hard time starting up your business, maybe we can change a way. We can use a mutual startup space to change up experience and utilize those resources. Also, I will talk about how do we use the technique that is used in the aesthetics medicine. How do we use our strengths to manage our business and operate our business? And also, we will talk about if we can use the Wuxing theory in the Chinese culture to help with our personal business startups. So these are the main points that I will talk about later. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin. Nice to see you all again. Right now, I am a special hired beauty lecturer at Info School of Taiwan. So I'm a teacher there. And basically, I will share my experience with you and tell you guys how I started off 15 years ago as a rookie. I had no experience. How do I become the teacher I am today? How do I become a special hired beauty lecturer? I believe that you will learn a lot through my experience sharing, and I believe that everyone will become better than me in the future. Now, what I'm doing right now is basically the beauty industry and also the fashion design, also beauty pageants around the world. I've also been engaged in the Miss University beauty pageant, Miss Universal beauty pageant, and also Miss Earth beauty pageant. So I've been involved in a lot of these beauty pageants as the fashion director. And I'm very happy to be here today through Info School Taiwan. And my experience basically covers, although I didn't start off as a special beauty lecturer, when I graduated from college, I was in the beauty industry. I started off step by step and 15 years ago, and I learned pretty hard. When the teacher teaches me, I will learn it over and over again through hard work and many efforts. I have accomplished quite a lot in this industry, so this is what I will share with you today to boost your confidence. Next, I will hand over to consultant Ling to share his experience with you. The first thing I would like to talk about is during this pandemic, how do we operate our business? Because of COVID-19, a lot of places are limited or either shut down. So when we are limited to these current conditions, that means that not a lot of people can gather within a same place. So people will worry, if I go into a public area, how do I avoid getting COVID-19? So a lot of people rather stay home, rather not go to the beauty salon. So in this case, this will impact our business a lot. Taking Taiwan, for example, our beauty industry is actually quite impacted, and because we weren't allowed to open, and even if we start open our business, our sales drop by 90%. So if we want to maintain our operations, doesn't mean that we need to cut our costs um, by um, by maybe firing some of our staff to cut the cost. And if when the pandemic is over, I need to rehire them again. And it's not that ethical, and it's pretty hard to do that. So I came up with a special way to win over this pandemic, and that is something that I call the Pandemic Prevention Beauty Care Package. So what is this beauty care package? So usually when we talk about these kind of things, when we want to take care of our skins at home, we need to have some skincare products. But if I do it by myself, it's pretty hard to achieve the effect we want. So we will go find these beauty consultants. So under these circumstances, because we are professionals, so if we can provide these kind of skincare products and how to take care of your skin, and we pack them all into a package and give it to our clients, even if our clients even if they lack your support or their timely professional support, they can also have a certain level of skincare maintained. Now, the question is, we don't just give these products to our clients. So this is what I will talk about today. This is actually a new type of business, and that is that we will provide a whole week or a whole month skincare product for our customers. But at the same time, as long as you have internet connection, we will provide you a QR code. And that is when you use these kind of packages, after scanning the QR code, you will receive instructions on how to apply these skincare products and how to proceed with the whole process. So the benefit of this is that when the clients get these packages, it's easy for them to know how to use these products because there's the online tutorial. So they don't need to have us by their side. They can just go online and watch our videos. Now, why do I suggest using a QR code? The reason is because if we pre-recorded something, then basically if it's a pre-recorded video, you can only sell it once. But if you use a QR code, you can utilize it with more flexibility. For example, if it's summer right now, then what kind of skincare product should you use? It is autumn, it is fall, it is winter. There will be different skincare products for you to use at those times. So it changes according to the season. So whenever you have a new video, you will have a new promotion and you will upload it again. So once they have this beauty care package, although maybe they will use it slowly, but when they scan the QR code, they will realize that maybe it's fall already. So they will need to buy fall products. So they will need to buy another pandemic prevention beauty care package. So if we use these kind of business model, we will be able to create a consistent selling as though if the professionals are by your side. Now, when the whole pandemic is over and we go back to our normal lives, then when the customers come to us face to face, then of course, they have already listened to and watched our videos. And because that is rooted in your mind, so they will definitely come to you when the pandemic is over for their skincares or beauty businesses. So these are our strategy to cope with the COVID-19 situation right now. We're not trying to teach them some very fancy methods when it comes to beauty. What we're trying to do is basically give them a very simple package that helps them do makeup, how to do face wash, and have a lot of tutorials that will assist them in making it simple and easy. Is there anything you would like to add? Okay. Now, the second thing I would like to talk about is the aesthetic medical. In Taiwan, the aesthetic medicine, basically, a lot of doctors in Taiwan would like to enter this industry. They like to maybe use some microsurgery or maybe insert some needles. So a lot of rich people would like to go to these beauty clinics. Now, when they go to the beauty clinics, they would like to do some microplastic surgery, maybe have a few shots, although it sounds very easy, but it is not that the whole case. But because it sounds very easy, so a lot of people like to go to the beauty clinic, and it was quite popular in some time. However, there is a very special trend right now, and that is in Taiwan, we have integrated maybe 20 clinics, 10 to 20 beauty clinics, and also these Chinese medicine clinics to integrate all together. And we will invest money into this. So what does this mean? This basically means doctors, they actually need sources of customers. Now, if beauty clients, beauty clinics are evolving and there are more and more beauty clinics, you will realize that you are getting less customers because there's too much supply in the market. So they will need someone who can talk. They will need a consultant. They will need a sales that can help the customers spend as much money as possible on this beauty clinic. But even though when they are doing their marketing, you will find that their marketing budget is actually increasing, and that will actually affect their profits. So there was a time in Taiwan when there was a street, there are more than 20 beauty clinics, and they all closed at the same time because they couldn't make it because there was too much competitive in the market at that specific area. So we came up with this new way of starting our business, and that is to, you can have some alliance between different industries. They might be your good friends, and these good friends and you can all invest in one beauty clinic. So what is the benefit of this? And that is your customers can all be integrated into that beauty clinic. So you will allocate all the customers into one beauty clinic. For example, you can offer services that were scattered in different beauty clinics before and integrated all into one beauty clinic. So also because you are a shareholder of that beauty clinic, you will also earn money once that beauty clinic earns money because you're the shareholder. Another thing is that these beauty clinics, after they perform the surgeries, there will be a usually there will be a problem, and that is they will need to have some skin cares and also some massage to help them with the skincare, and they will need to go back to the beauty clinic for the follow-up treatments. However, the nurses in the beauty clinic, they can't actually help the clients with these problems, so they will hire more doctors and more talents in this area. And what they do is actually not as detailed and as professional as what we are doing right now. So if you have been to a beauty clinic, the thing that most people can't endure is that when the nurses are doing the treatment for the patients, they think it's very painful. So if there are 20 beauty clinics and we combine them all into a more integrated beauty clinic, then basically when the customer goes to the beauty clinic that's integrated a lot of these services, they can go there for the surgery, and then they can go to these other little clinics for the follow-ups and skincare products. And also, this is something that we call a after surgery center, ASC. So that means if we send our patients to the beauty center, and when they come back, they can come back to our after surgery center. So it's actually a win-win situation because we share the customers right now. And because the clinic and also the beauty center all belong to the same group, that means we're all earning the money at the same time. So instead of being afraid of these beauty clinics competing with us, why not cooperate with them and win this whole market together? We can share our patients during different process of the beauty industry. So this then becomes a very good and beneficial cooperating business model that benefits both sides. So this is also another trend that's happening in Taiwan. The third thing that I like to share is a shared space. So a shared space basically means when we are creating a beauty center, we would need a a lot of money on the refurnishment and also the interior design of the beauty center because we need to create a very warm atmosphere, a very welcoming atmosphere. We want to create an atmosphere when the clients walk in the door, they're actually relaxed and enjoy, which is very different from their daily lives. So we will spend a lot of money on these interior designs and also our refurbishments. So we need to spend a lot of money on changing this whole space and optimizing the space. And that is actually a great deal of money. In this case, why don't we just, if I have more money, I could rent a very big space, and then I will be in charge of the whole refurbishment and internal design. But every little studio inside this shared space, we will invite our our competitors into this shared space, and we will rent them the space. And they don't need to redesign the interior design. They could just enjoy the atmosphere and the environment already. So basically, this is very good for both sides because for them, they are not employed by us, so they will have their share of their profit. as an investor, because I invested in refurbishment of this space. So if a customer comes to this studio in A and also go to studio B or go to studio C, I will also earn money. So each of these little studios inside their shared space can have their own specialty. So as an investor, I can also help with this part. I can also have one of my studios inside this shared space. I can maybe assign each customer to each studio for different processes of the overall skincare. Now, I don't need to employ the beautician in studio A, B, or C. They could use the space to do their own things to make their own business happen. So I don't need to pay extra money to these people, and they need to pay me rent. And whenever a customer comes to the share space, this beauty center, I can also earn some profit myself. So this is the idea of a shared space. So basically, I would say if we use a shared space, most people can, or most of us can actually save a lot of money on the internal design because we're sharing this whole space at the same time. And that is, if we don't have a lot of customers, then basically inside this whole space, we can provide services in this space. If there are a lot of customers coming in and everybody is very busy, then we can all share some profit from these customers because we're all using the same space, we're all paying the rent. And the third part is very special. In the Chinese culture, there is a concept called the five elements, or we say 五行. So what is 五行? 五行 is basically the combination of five elements, and they include wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. So water, fire, earth, metal, and water. Now this part is pretty mystical to the Western because it's a little bit mystical. However, it is pretty popular in the Chinese culture. It is actually a part of our life, no matter if it's in the medical part, if it's in the beauty industry, or maybe it's in your food diets. We will use these 五行 concepts to help us with our beauty and also with our house. So let me talk more about 五行. Basically, wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Wood basically means the wood that we see, the forest that we see, the tree, everything that is green, that belongs to the wood. If on a human body, we're talking about the liver. Why is it talking about the liver? Because wood is basically, it represents the nature, so it will help you digest a lot of, or toxic in your body. So it can help you detoxificate your toxic inside your body. And what about fire? Because fire and wood go together because wood, it's burnable. So once you burn the wood, you will create fire. So we will say wood actually generates fire. So what does fire mean? Inside the human body, the fire means our heart because it is red. That means if, say, for example, our heart is continuously beating, it is very vigorous, it is very passionate like the fire. It will help pump all the energy to your body. So it is actually a energy that is very vigorous and vivid. So what generate fire, and what does fire generate? Fire will generate earth. So why is that? Because when we burn the wood, it will become ashes or dirt, and that is a part of the earth. So that means if the fire can generate earth, earth actually means our stomach and spleen in our human body. Now, in the nature, dirt or earth, what does it mean? Because dirt or earth usually is yellow, so there are a lot of things that we can't see with our eyes that are in the soil. So the soil can help digest a lot of these natural elements. It is kind of like the stomach and our spleen on our body. So what generates fire? Fire generates earth, and earth generates metal. So because the reason that earth generate metal is because we can find metal inside the earth, inside the soils. And the color for metal is actually white. You can imagine it as kind of like a sword or a blade. When we're swinging these blades and swords, you can hear these shoo 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 sounds. So this is what the metal represents. The metal represents our lung. So what does the metal generate? If we continue to dig and we dig a lot of metal, we can eventually you will find water below it. So another saying that if you put a metal outside, then over the night when it's daytime again, you will find some little drops of water on the metal. And in the past, people doesn't know that it's a natural phenomenon. So they believe in the past that metal actually generates water. So in our body, what does water represent? It actually represents our kidney. And the water that represents the water is pretty special. It is black. Why is it black? Because if a body of water is very, very deep, then it will turn into a kind of blackish color. So these are the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. So if we start from wood, it would be your liver, it would be your heart, it would also mean your spleen, and metal would mean your lung, and water would mean your kidney. Now, this is a very simple way of putting it. Now, basically what I'm trying to say is, if we look at this from a Chinese medicine perspective, they use a way to kind of help take care of your body in using this wuxing concept inside Chinese medicine. Now, if I want to talk about the theory and also the whole concept, and it will take a lot of time, but I will just talk about the easy and simple understanding of it first. And that is, if someone comes into our beauty clinic or beauty center, and when we diagnose that this client is maybe lacking in fire element, then we will maybe take this client to another room, and in this room we will project a red light, and the music that the clients hear will be very vibrant, and the water that we offer the client will be maybe a bit more sour, because in the privileged part, fire actually means sour. So each customer, when they come to our center, we will tailor-made or customize what to offer them according to their wuxing, the wuxing status inside their body. So they will have different music, different visual aids, different fragrance, and also maybe different house food and privileges for these clients. Because if they go to any other beauty clinic, it is all the standard SOP. It's all the same. But if they come to your place, everything is customized and tailor-made according to their body situation when it comes to wuxing. Now, it sounds a little bit mystical, but actually in the digital age, we just have to enter some key attributes, including their dates of birth and also their weight and height. Then we will actually know what is lacking in this person's wuxing, or maybe what is maybe excessive in the client's wuxing. So maybe some people think that their heart beat too fast. What should we do? So basically what we will do is we will increase the element of water to kind of help lower the fire element. So if you go to another beauty clinic, usually what they do is they will do a SOP on you. But when they come to our place, we will offer them customized service according to this wuxing concept for them to have a better care when they come to our place. And this is how we utilize the wuxing theory in our beauty clinic. Now, under COVID-19, we use a pandemic prevention beauty care package. And also with our professionalism, we have some online teaching so that the clients can follow our instructions online. And also we offer some new techniques to these customers, so they will have a habit of looking at your videos, watching your videos every day, and so they will be accustomed to learning from you. Now, because there are a lot of beauty clinics prospering each day in Taiwan, you don't need to worry about your competitors over surpassing you. So instead of becoming competitive with our other beauty clinics, we can cooperate with them through the share space integrated marketing strategy. We can all make money, and the doctor can make money, and also the doctor will like to send their patients to our center as well. The third thing that I talked about is if you want to refurbish a space by yourself, you'll need to spend a lot of money. Then why don't you just invest in a beauty space, or maybe find somebody's to invest in a shared space, and there will be a reception where it is responsible for assigning different patients to different studios. So then everybody could share the profit of the market. The fourth that I talked about is basically using the Wuxing theory, which is the fire, wood, earth, metal, and water, to help treat the patients, so that when the clients come to your center, they are enjoying a tailor-made treatment. And this tailor-made treatment will allow them to have a very unique experience and also have a better body at the same time. And this is something that gives us a competitive advantage, because they won't experience these kind of experiences in other beauty clinics. And we offer exclusive music in our center according to their Wuxing status inside their body. So we help them calm their mind and also their body. They will also enjoy the great food and privileges we have customized for them. And we also provide some advice for them on their future health diets and what products you will need in the future. So this is actually a very comprehensive treatment, and then the customer will have loyalty towards your beauty center. Now, these are the four things that I would like to share when it comes to cross-industrial alliance. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Ling, for sharing. I would like to add a couple of points here. The first is in Taiwan, actually, we're also pretty popular in two parts. And the first part is the shopping online platform, and also the collaboration between the beauty industry. So when we talk about the shopping platform, online shopping platform, it is basically, it is actually the television shopping. It has a lot of members. You can actually find a lot of different products on the TV channel that are selling it, but they realize that all their members are actually mostly women. So they want to provide or offer other products besides food, besides beauty, and besides recreation. So they also want to provide products to how to make women more beautiful. So they thought of an idea, and that is to collaborate with a personal studio, beauty studio, and they cooperated with this personal beauty studio. And then this whole thing started to roll up. So more beauty clinics started to pair up with these TV channels. And because these beauty clinics offer space, they don't really have a very hard product, but they offer their service. So they combine their specialty with the TV shopping channels. So they combine these together, one for exposure and one for service. So this is also another pretty popular business model in Taiwan right now, and it is actually quite prosperous. So here is something for your reference. And also, Mr. Ling mentioned the shared space. The shared space part, I would like to add something else, and it is from my experience that actually everybody could become the boss of themselves, but how do we lower our cost to the minimum part? Because to hire a beautician is very, very expensive. And also, if you want to develop a beautician, it also takes a lot of time and money. Most of the times, the customer, when they walk in your door, they would expect a comprehensive treatment or a comprehensive service, because there are many different categories in the beauty industry. There's the eyelashes, there's the body, there's body massage, there's also makeups. So all of these things are included in the beauty industry. Now, today, how do we minimize the total cost for all three areas that we have just mentioned? And also maybe the rent, the refurbishment, and also our source of customer. So we can maybe include some alliance when it comes to these different categories. So we can find someone who's really good in makeup, find someone who's really good in eyelashes, and find someone who's really good in body treatments. So we can have and offer a very comprehensive service to our customers. That means when the customer comes to our center, not only could they enjoy making their nails, they could also relax their bodies through our body treatments, and they can even achieve they can even do their eyelashes or do their makeups here at our beauty center. So then it actually becomes a one-stop shop, which offers all the services in one area. So this is basically the new idea that's pretty popular recently, and that's a shared space, because in this way you can save a lot of cost. And another part is that myself, I have a friend. This friend is basically how do I say it? This friend basically just offers monthly rent, and he offers space to other friends who would like to become beauticians, and he offers the service to them. So he combined marketing, direct sales. Um, this direct sales includes living, transportation, recreation, and everything that you need in your daily life. And he offered this space to allow these beauticians to come to this space. And when the beauticians come to the space, each beautician will be their own boss in this shared space and have their own studio. So this friend basically just offers them a membership. So they will need to pay a membership fee to join the member. And once you've joined the member, you will be able to use all the resources inside that shared space. And they will also get a product. So what is the product? The product is actually a shared space. And that is, you can sell your product within this shared space. And so the income, the product that my friend was talking about is that once you have the share space, you can actually earn 1.5 times more than your membership fees. So it's actually a pretty sweet deal for these individual beauticians, and because it also offers them the chance to become their own boss. So he is actually just the coordinator. So he doesn't need to worry about his revenue or his sales target. He is actually pretty relaxed because he offers a membership, and also the individual beauticians that are having their studios in the shared base are making the money for this friend. And I believe this is a very good idea, because instead of like if you were a boss before, you were worried about setting the sales target, then why not have all these individual beauticians become individual bosses that are moving towards the same goal, and they can set their own sales target, and you just offer the space and you're actually benefiting from them as well. So this is also a personal experience of my friend. Now my friend basically have more than 100 individual beauticians cooperating with him in the shared space right now. And because he is not their boss, so basically the beauticians are very free. They can come and go as they please. But how do they split the profit? And that's basically after 3 months, each beautician will have their revenue or their profit maybe 10,000 or 20,000. After deducting the cost, they will have the profit. And then all the beauticians will combine their profit, and then they will spread the profit among all the beauticians. So I think this is a pretty good idea. So this is for your reference. Thank you. The vice principal mentioned that fighting in a group and also marketing as a group, or also promoting as a group online, I have a pretty successful case that I would like to share with you. And that is, there was this person who was just a beautician, and this friend was affected by customers are actually not coming anymore due to the pandemic. So he transferred to an online platform. And now this beautician has earned, this beautician's revenue is actually 25,000 USD per week. So he had a pretty successful transformation from physical to online. And this friend knows how to catch a customer, because through the online service, it's actually more customized and more close to the customers. So This way, he has earned the customer's trust, and customers are willing to come back to him. And this is a pretty successful case that I would like to share. Thank you, teacher Thiessen, and also Mr. Ling. Thank you for your sharings. My name is Kevin. Today, I am basically here to share 4 things with you. The first part is, how do I become a beauty professional when 15 years ago I know nothing about the beauty industry. I had no experience. I didn't know what the beauty industry was about. And then until today, I am actually a beauty industry teacher. So there's a pretty big contrast between who I was and who I am right now. I learned the beauty fashion through vocational training in Taiwan and officially switched from an international trader to the beauty industry. And after I entered the beauty industry, I have some sales pressure. We need to have sales, we need to have revenue in order to get our salary. So at that time, I tried very hard to collaborate with some Chinese medicine clinics. And the next part, I will talk about the trend. Basically, in the future, it is a holistic health industry, because as long as a person lives, this person needs to be healthy. It's not how long you live, is how healthy you live. And the beauty industry, for me, the biggest advantage is that first, you can be healthful. You can be very healthy. Second, you can also be beautiful. And third, you can also make money. I believe making money is everybody's objective, right? Now, besides becoming healthier, becoming more beautiful, this could also help your family become healthier and more beautiful, and also your friends as well. So there is a precondition, and that is we need to have professionalism. We need to be professionals. That means we need to continue to learn. We need to learn more knowledge. We need to level up ourselves. That's how we keep our customers, because it's pretty competitive in the beauty industry. It's very, very competitive. So how do we keep our customers? We must have something besides our professionalism, and we also have to pay attention to the details. We need to be very friendly and very warm-hearted towards our customers. So besides the professional knowledge, how do we combine our business with other industries using the less cost? Now, besides the cross-industrial alliance, we also need to work on our detailed, customized products and the tailor-made stuffs. So take myself, for example, from not knowing anything about the beauty industry, how did I become who I am today? So this goes back to 15 years ago. So I was a international trader for 7 years, and international trading right now is a bit hard. So at that time, there was this opportunity, and I left my previous job, and I was in an intersection in my road, and I was looking for my next goal in my life. What should I do? And at that time, there was a teacher, and this teacher was in the beauty industry, and he asked me to join the beauty industry. So I gave it a try and went to the vocational training. And because it is free, and I also had some scholarships, so I thought, hey, there's money, maybe I should go and try it. So once I stepped into this industry, on the first day, I didn't understand anything because I'm a guy. I've never put on makeup, and I know nothing about skincare products. So on the first day, I was actually super void, because I was thinking, is this really what I want? I know nothing about this. But when I went home and thought about it, I made my determination to learn everything I could. So on the second day, I worked harder than my classmates. I remember there were 30 students, and there were only 2 boys among them, and one of them is me. Halfway through the course, the other guy dropped out. He said, this is too hard. This is really not for me. The first is he didn't have interest, and also he is also pretty old, so he gave up. So all the pressure was on me. I was there earlier than everyone, and I went home the latest. And if there's anything I don't understand, I will ask the teacher until I understood it. The techniques that the teacher taught me, besides practicing at school, I also practice it on my family members, my mom, and also some other family members. From zero to having been able to do the techniques, it took me a whole month. From 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., I have been learning at school. After a month and a half, I had a breakthrough. I think the my beauty my beauty experience actually gave me a very magical feeling because it actually makes people more healthy, and it also makes my family healthy, also my friends healthier, and I can make money at the same time. So after that, I worked even harder and I paid attention to even more details. So that's when I decided to devote myself into the beauty industry. The second is that 15 years ago, I got certified with a beauty and industry certification and entered the Chinese Herbal Beauty Meridian Education Association. So I joined this company and I was curious, why did the boss pick me among all these students? And he told me that because I was always on time and I worked harder than everyone else, although I'm not better than everyone, but I am more hardworking than the others, and it's all about attitude. So after graduating from the vocational course, I joined this company and went into another course that is aiming for the beauty certification. I remember when we graduate, there is only 25 classmates, so it's less than one third of a um, acceptance rate, and I was the only male inside all these classmates. So after that, I kept on working harder, and I still work hard until today. So besides uh, what the teacher is teaching us in the classroom, I will also look for other beauty information during my spare time, whether it's fashion design, whether it is nutrient, whether it is the athletic industry. I'll look at all these information because I think that knowledge is power and people won't be able to take it away. And this is knowledge that I will be able to use in the future. So that is why the boss picked me over all the students. And he was actually examining us throughout the class. He wasn't looking for someone who is more talented, but he was looking for someone with the right attitude and who is willing to go the extra steps. So this is actually like the bunny and the tortoise race that we know when we were kids. It's actually the determination and the hard work that gets you through the finish line and not your talent. So um, he basically thinks of me as the turtle who continued to go on step by step and reach the finish line. So once I entered the company, my biggest pressure came from the sales revenue, because if I didn't provide any sales revenue, the boss won't be able to give me any salary. So the boss told me, if you want to make money, it's all up to yourself. The company is just a platform for you. So on my first day at work, there were 20 employees. I was the green one. I was a rookie. I didn't know anything about it. I went to the office earlier than everybody else, and I had limited resource. In the first week, I had zero revenue. I was very sad, but in my heart, I would keep on thinking, how do I make a breakthrough? So then I went to ask the seniors. I went to ask the manager. I went to ask the boss. I asked them to share their experience on how to achieve the sales revenue. And he gave me a little book, and inside that book there are many different beauty studios and beauty clinics, and there are phone numbers in it. So I started calling each of these clinics. The first time I made a call, they hang up on me. I made over 100 phone calls ever since, and all of these clinics hung up on me. And then I thought, this isn't going anywhere. If I have no revenue, I won't get paid. So then I started to think, how do I maybe attract these beauty clinic or these beauty industry stores, a boss, to come to the association, maybe to take a class. And then I started saying, I am from blah 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 company. We have this course and it is free for you, and you can learn the techniques that you want. Then you will have a better revenue. Would you like to participate in our courses? Then these other beauty clinics started to take interest in my offering, um, because usually these people are used to getting phone calls from sales, and that gives them a lot of pressure. And they told me that the beauty industry is very competitive. It's hard to make money, and I keep on receiving your sales phone calls. Then it's very irritating. We also want to make money. So when I change a mindset and change a strategy, when they receive a educational phone call asking if they would like to participate in a free course, then they are interested. Then it could also help these beauticians level up on their skills. So on the second month, then my sales revenue became the highest among everyone else in the company, and everybody was pretty shocked. So what I'm trying to say is that I started off as a sales. On a typical day, I go into the office at 9 o'clock, and 9:30 I'm already visiting clients on the streets, and I need to visit more than 100 clients per day, whether it's an individual studio or if it's a beauty clinic or if it's a franchise beauty clinic. I need to knock on their doors one by one to visit them. And usually when you see a male sales in the beauty industry, usually they won't even open up. So on my first day, I visited 100 or so beauty clinics. None of them opened their doors for me because they understand when they see a male, you're not a customer, you're just a sales here to pitch your sales. So on my first week, I didn't have any sales revenue. So then I thought, how do I overcome this situation? So then I took a colleague with me, and she is very beautiful. And I took her with me to visit customers, or visit the beauty clinics. And I asked the very beautiful colleague to knock on the door, and they will open the door because they will think she's a client. So then I will follow her inside and then talk to the boss and say, hey, I'm a sales representative from which company, and they would like to shut the door immediately, but because I'm in the way, so they can't close the door. And I told the boss, give me 3 minutes, I will help you make money. Do you want it? And so the boss says, okay, of course I want to make money. Then I start pitching my course, saying that, okay, we have a free course on which day you can let your beauticians come and learn more techniques, and then you will have a better revenue in the future. So then starting from my first day where I have 0 customer visits, 0 revenue, to maybe reaching deals with 30 clinics. And then in the second month, I achieved the highest sales revenue in the company. And the boss was pretty curious about how I overcome it. And then I told my boss, like you said, if I want to make money, I need to depend on myself. So then I also started to practice my talking skills, my persuasion skills. So after arranging an appointment on the phone, I will go and visit the customer. So after half a year, my sales revenue is still the highest in the company, from a rookie to a training director. And after a year, I became the sales manager. In the second year, the company told me that, hey, there are some newcomers to the company, and there are some rookies. They're all learning from you. So because all the other sales come and go, but you are staying and you're the best sales we have. So you need to train these rookies. So on the second year, my pressure also enhanced because I need to take care of the rookies, and also I need to teach them. So then I taught them my way of doing sales. And I told them that you need to be very hardworking and diligent to pay visits to customers. Money doesn't fall from the sky, you must work hard. So on the second year, I became the training director. I need to think of some new techniques, some new courses to attract more clinics to come and participate in our course. And so in the second year, I was spotted by a medical clinic manager, and they kind of asked me to work for them. So I went to the other clinic, and they told me that the Chinese medicine clinics are also very competitive, and they are also trying to make a breakthrough. So they're asking me for advice. So at that time, I thought, Chinese medicine clinics are basically full of doctors. They're all professionals. What about combining them with our beauty industry? Maybe we'll have a breakthrough. So I started to kind of visit customers to try to combine these two industries and try to pitch them these new ideas. So have these Chinese medicine doctors endorse us, and we can also support them when it comes to the beauty industry. So then, everything is very difficult in the beginning. So in the first months, of course, I had zero revenue. And this is a very, very new idea. And my boss in the Chinese medicine clinic also suffers a lot of pressure. And he asked me, how do I live when I have no revenue? You need to find some revenue for me. And I told him, I know. So I thought about it because there are a lot of patients' information in the Chinese medicine clinics. So I thought of new ideas to approach customers, and that is how do I loop in these patients that were originally going to the Chinese medicine clinics to come to the beauty industry? So I thought of an idea, and that is to have the members from the clinics. I will arrange a day for all these patients to come to the clinic to have a free makeup, a free skincare product day. And then more than 100 patients came. My objective was actually to build trust and loyalty. So the first day I implemented this, it was full of people, and because of recommendations from these existing patients, more and more patients started to come to the clinic for the additional beauty service. So then the revenue went up, and because we are starting to make money, the Chinese medicine clinic's manager got interested, and he started to spread their news to middle Taiwan and also southern Taiwan, so that all the Chinese clinics, if interested, they can use the same business model. So we started to expand from one clinic to around 100 Chinese medicine beauty clinics, and eventually. So this is something that the Chinese medicine clinic never thought about. They didn't know that they can combine their specialty with the beauty industry. And until now, the Chinese medicine beauty clinic is still there and is still very popular in Taiwan. So this is one of my sharings. We must turn the impossible into possible. We don't want to compete in the Red Sea. We want to create a blue ocean strategy. We want to make our own path. And also, I would like to share that in the future, health industry is absolutely the trend, because when a person is living, they need to be healthy. And once they're healthy, beauty comes next. So it is all bundled together in a package. So beauticians to open a business, the cost is actually pretty low, because in the past I created a mobile beauty. And what is mobile beauty? That is basically when you don't have enough capitals, you can't open a store, but you can prepare a suitcase, and all you need to in there are the tools that you need to use for makeup and skincares. That is exfoliation products, face wash, and everything like that. And you can go to serve your customers everywhere, because all you need is your suitcase. You can actually go to their homes to help them with their makeup. Your home basically only needs a bed, and you can start your own little studio. So it's very, very beneficial, and the costs are very low. So you can just start your business by having a car, a suitcase, and then a place to stay, and that's it. You don't need to open a store. So it is very easy. And as Mr. Ling mentioned, the alliance between different businesses, we can also have shared space and shared economy. I also talk to the beauticians and ask them to talk to the beauty clinics that they know and see if they can provide an additional bed. Then we can turn their customers into our customers. Or you can talk to some nail beauty shops and have some combination with them. You can also find some fashion shops or these clothing shops. It is possible, because I've also consulted some beauticians who just graduated and they don't have that much fund, and they're not convenient to serve their customers at home. And if they're girls, they're afraid that if they go to the customer's house, there might be some danger. So what I advise them is they can find some clothing shops or clothing stores and talk to them. As long as they can have an additional small space for you with an additional bed, then it will be easy for you to do your magic there, and you can start your little tiny business inside that shop. So it is all very convenient. The conclusion is, like, for me, I am a guy. If I could become a a special beauty professional, I believe that all of you here today will have the potential to become even better than me, because right now you're like me 15 years ago with limited experience and limited background in the beauty industry. But I believe that if you are determined and work hard and improve yourself step by step, I believe in the future you will become better and you will have a brighter future than I. So I believe if you become if you have the professional knowledge, have the technique, as long as you're not too far behind and you pay attention to details, then also you need to customize a lot of things for your customers to show that you care for the customer, then I believe that in the future you will have a very successful business where you are healthy, you're also beautiful, and that your clients are also beautiful and healthy, and you can also make money. So it's a win-win situation. Thank you. So that is my experience. What Kevin mentioned, the mobile beauty clinic, there are two cases that are very special in Taiwan that I would like to share with you. One is a little bit more simpler, and that is the bridal makeup artist. This is what we call Hunmi in Taiwan, basically means wedding or bridal makeup artist. And that's when on the wedding day, this artist will go to the bride's home and help her with some makeup. And also she will take care of the bride throughout the day, including the wedding. This is something that's very special in Taiwan. And that is usually it takes only one person or two people who will be kind of like the bride's secretary to help her throughout her wedding day. Now, because the wedding is a very, very important event, so it's a very important day, so they are willing to spend more money on hiring these bridal makeup artists or secretaries. So you can earn more money on these occasions. And also another thing that is very special in Taiwan is that when we are taking pictures, usually we will need to go outside to do some makeups and also prepare the outfits by ourselves, and then we will go take our personal pictures. But right now there is a pretty different photo studio, and that is when you walk in there, you can walk in there with your own clothes and without any makeup. You can just walk in there, and the service that they offer is actually, besides shooting, they will discuss with you first and communicate what kind of effect do you want with your photo, what kind of image would you like to project, and what will this photo be used for. And at this time, our personal studio or our beauticians or fashion designers, they will be by the side to help you communicate and try to fulfill your demand. So they will also maybe do some hairdressing for you, or maybe cut your hair, or maybe some makeups for you to show good in the picture. And also there will be a lot of clothes beside there where you could choose. So if a male goes in, maybe he will wear a suit. If a female goes in, then maybe they will offer a dress or some different special gowns for different occasions. So what I'm trying to say is makeup is very important in this whole process, because this is the way to project the correct image in the photo. And these kind of photo studios usually offer a place for you to rest. And that is when, after taking the photo, they will help you adjust your photo, and at that time you can stay in the restroom, and they will ask you if you like this photo or not, and it will adjust it according to the customer's need. And in the very end, when you are in the waiting room, they will help you print out the photo for you to take away. So you will notice that maybe you will ask, how long should I need to wait when I'm waiting for my photo to be printed out? And it is that during this time, the client could choose to drink some beverages or have some food, or maybe I can just lay down, lay back, and relax, and maybe go through a body treatment, or maybe have some skincare treatments during the waiting time. So there's actually a free spot there. So this is a benefit from the beauticians who are collaborating with these photo studios. Now you need to be careful, because the beauticians actually, they can be in the studio all day, or they could actually reserve a time for that studio. And so that means when the photo studio needs this beautician, then he will come over or she will come over, and the beautician will be involved with the communication process in the pre-shooting phase. And also during the shooting phase, the clients can shoot a picture that is for finding a job, or they can shoot a personal warm picture. They are very different. They require different makeups and different costumes. So during this whole photo shooting process, maybe the client needs to change different clothings or maybe change the style. And so this part would be taken care by the beautician rather than the photographer or the photographer's assistant. So at this time, the beauticians, these professionals, they will help the client manage this part. So this is also another type of alliance between different industries. And that is, you can also cooperate with the wedding gowns providers. So you can become the bridal secretary or bridal makeup artist. You can also assist the groom and also the father and mother of the bride, or the father and mother of the groom, and also the bridesmaid and also the best man, to have a comprehensive and very good image on the wedding day. And the other is to collaborate with these photo shooting studios to have the customers enjoy a very enjoyable experience where they don't need to settle all by themselves. They can just walk there, and then the beautician, the makeup artist, and the photographer will take care of the rest for them to ensure that they have a very good picture. So these are the things that I would like to add when we talk about the cross-industry alliances. Now, thank you for sharing your experiences, Mr. Ling and Kevin. Here, I would like to make a conclusion. Now, basically, each student, you can learn the knowledge and all the techniques first, and as you are entering your startup phase of your business, basically, you can all choose your, there are a lot of choices. You can all choose your different options according to how much money you have. The first option is when we don't need that much money. So you can start by creating your own personal studio. Once you have some funds, have some capital, then if you don't want to run around with your suitcase, then you can start to rent a place to kind of settle down to become your personal studio. Now, a personal studio is kind of like it's like the mobile beauty clinic that we just mentioned. You just need your tools and a suitcase and also some instruments. Then basically you can become the mobile beauty clinic. Once you have money, you can rent a place, then it becomes your personal studio. Then you only need a rack full of tools and then a bed, and you can start your business. And after that, if you think your customer service needs to be more comprehensive, then maybe I would suggest you to maybe follow Mr. Ling's and also Kevin's advice to alliance with other industries. So maybe the SureSpace that we mentioned, or maybe some other alliances that you think of. So today, basically, if you think that you want to combine some maybe famous spa, maybe some spa service providers, you can also talk about franchises. Now, the franchising part in Taiwan is basically you need to pay the franchise fee of joining the franchise. So after that, they will offer you the brand, they will offer you the instruments, they will also offer you the tools, and they will also help you with targeting your customers, and they will also provide a comprehensive educational training for you. But the the franchise money is basically, I know it's a lot of money, but you can pay in different installments. So you can pay this through ordering some tools or ordering products with the mother company. So if you order a product from the mother company, they can also deduct it from your installments. So you don't need to pay it up front. And so it will be very easy for you to have a startup business through a franchise, because you can use the name of that very famous spa, and you can also enjoy the customers that are coming for the brand. You don't need to pay a lot of capital for buying the tools and instruments. So you can achieve your dream by joining a franchise. So this is also some advice that I would like to give you. You can choose which kind of option you would like to take, whether it's a personal studio or a mobile studio or join a franchise. So these are the things that we would like to share today. And I hope you have learned a lot. Next, we will have a 5 minutes break. And after that, we will go into the Q&A session. So feel free to ask any questions that you would like to ask. And you can just place it in the chat box and we will try our best to answer your questions and share our experiences with you. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you. So right now it's a 5 minutes break. And if you have any questions, feel free to note them down in the chat box and we will answer them in the Q&A session later. Thank you. Hello and welcome back. Now we've received some questions, and the first is that since there are so many acupuncture points around the eyes and the eyebrow, would it be effective when waxing or threading? The answer to this question, I will ask Dr. Kevin to answer this question. Regarding to waxing the eyebrows and to the areas around the areas, I would suggest that we avoid using any sharp tools. So I would suggest using sponges to evade the areas of the eyes and also the eyebrows. And that is you need to be very gentle when applying these tools. Don't use too much force. The most important thing is that you need to be aware if the customer has sensitive skin or maybe if there are any pimples or if they are allergic to anything. If it is sensitive skin or if they have pimples, then basically we won't suggest them to do waxing. We will suggest to do waxing when the pimple is gone and when they have good skin conditions. Usually we will put on the cotton pads first and then we will put on the wax on the sides, and remember to apply them gently, then it won't be any problem. I would also like to add some things to this, and that is when we are no matter what we're doing regarding to the eyes and the eyebrows, we want to try to avoid these parts. And the second is regarding to the acupuncture points. Now, acupuncture points are more related to massage. So when you're waxing, regardless of the product you're using, you need to consider the fraction that it has against the skin. So acupuncture and waxing are not that related to one another, but that basically in general, when we're doing any treatment on our faces, we need to remember that the skins around our eyes and also the eyebrow, we need to be very careful because they are very thin and sensitive. So we want to try to avoid the eyes. Regarding to the second question, and that is you uh, when there are excess wax that are around the eyebrows and eyes, we will suggest to use sponge in the PowerPoint slides, and also some students would use cloths. And the answer from here is basically it's fine. Both of them are advisable. It's okay. Why did we choose sponges? It's because it is more tender and it's more soft, so it protects our skin. That's why we suggest to use sponges. Now, if you want to use a hair remover cloth, then basically, as mentioned before, all the wax products, they are more related to the fraction with our skin. So when you're choosing the cloths, we suggest you to choose the cloths that are more delicate, that are more gentle and tender. And when you're wiping it off their skin, remember to be very tender and gentle. Basically, the key point here is to have the ability to remove the excessive wax. So that is the part for answering question number 2. Thank you. There are some questions from the Spanish side. Give us a second. We're noting down the questions. Let me answer one of the questions that were asked from the Spanish room, and that is, how do I manage my staff and balance my revenue and cost? The answer is actually we've mentioned this part in our courses, and that is how do we calculate our capital expenditure. And as mentioned before, we need to um, have it in a 3-3-3 ratio. The first 3 is the refurbishment and internal design. The second 3 is the expenditure on buying the products. And the third 3 is in the half-year period, the constant payment for our employees. So if for yourself you are sure what is the limit of your budget, then regarding to the staffs and human resource, first is we might start from hiring those who can do the jobs of many people. So that is, maybe we can have a deal with the employer, with the employee, and we can have a fixed salary with them, but with some additional bonuses, and that bonus will go according to their revenue. So in the first phase of the startup, you need to have a very good communication skill, and that is to communicate the whole startup business situation with your employees. And so because this directly involves the employee's salary, it might be a bonus mechanism rather than a fixed salary, or it might be both, so that you will manage the expectation on both sides first. Regarding to the second question, how do we promote our products when providing our services? This is a very interesting question, because for us, or so for human beings, we don't like to be on the other side of the sales. We don't want to be talked into buying something because we're reluctant to buy it. So how do we provide this? How do we sell our product when we are providing our services? Now, this is a very simple answer, is to create a feeling to the clients that have them thinking, I really need this product. This is a really good product. So I have encountered a case where the patient enters the beauty clinic, and then another guy comes in and talks to this client, says, there's something wrong with your skin, maybe you have a big belly. To this customer, the first customer already trusts the first doctor, who very trusts the doctor. But when the second guy comes into the room that starts to say bad things about the client's body, the client will be reluctant to talk to the second person. So whatever the second person says, she will not buy into it. So it's very important that the actual doctor who is performing the treatments on the patients should have a lot of professional knowledge. And that is, when you're doing the treatment on the patient, you also need to talk to the patients and talk to them to say something like, after this treatment, you will feel very happy today, I guarantee you, because you become more beautiful. But after 2 days, because this whole effect will wear off due to its natural attributes. So you will kind of lose this whole beautiful effect. So you can choose to come back maybe 2 days after, and I will help you kind of enhance this treatment. And I will also give you a discount. Would you like to come back a few days later? Then we will increase the chances of having this customer buy from us again. Now, most of the customers don't really have the time to come back maybe 1 day or 2 days. So what I would say is, if you don't have time to come back a few days later, then I suggest you to maybe buy this product, which is what I'm using right now to help you maintain your beauty. So if you have this product, you don't need to come to the clinic anymore. You just need to take this product home, and I will teach you how to apply it, and you can apply it by yourself, and that will save you some time from coming back again. Under these kind of situations, they will thank you and be grateful for you acknowledging their vision of becoming beautiful, and they will think that this whole process has become easier. So what I need to do is just take the product home. So then it will create a need for the customer. So when they need this product, they will start asking you, how do I apply this? Is it all I need to do just to apply it? Is it that easy? Or do I need to buy some additional products to go with it? Or maybe what procedures do I need to do? So then this whole conversation becomes a very natural conversation. You're actually accompanying this patient to become more beautiful. It's not trying to promote something or selling something strongly into the hands of the customers. It's kind of like offering a way for the client to become beautiful. And this method is working because this is exactly the product I am applying on you right now. So you're just actually finishing something that we have already started here. So these kind of selling techniques are very simple because the customer already trusts you, and they already trust you because you see them in their most ugly face. And so you have built the trust already, and then what you're telling the customer is basically just saying that this will help you maintain your beautiful status or your beautiful stage. So another question is, how do we find the root cause to why we're losing customers? Now here I would suggest using a SWOT analysis. Now this analysis is not a one-time analysis. It is actually a continuous process. You need to analyze if you still have your competitive advantage. Am I lacking behind my competitors? Are there other shops in the area that are threatening my business? Then under these kind of circumstances, what are my opportunities? Through this analysis, you can find your root cause, and you also find a lot of different things that you haven't noticed before. Or maybe it's because some of my clients, maybe because their economic status has changed, so they can't afford my service, or maybe they want a better service. So you need to have a very thorough analysis of this whole situation. Like what I mentioned before, we can use a FRM to keep track of when was their last time that they entered the studio, and how much money do they spend on us every time, and when was the last time this customer came to us, what is the frequency that they come find us. So these are all the different aspects that we can help in analyzing. Now, as mentioned before, all of these can break down into 125 points. How do I filter out the customers that are very eager to come, but they don't have the money to come? Or how do I find the customers that are not willing to come, but they are willing to spend a lot of money? So if you have this question, you can go back and look at the video on that course. You can realize that you need to analyze your whole situation one by one. So it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. You can't just depend on your experience. If you use the same ways, if you use the same method to try to produce a different result, that is impossible. You need to change in order to have change. So that is my answer to that question. Now, regarding to what Mr. Ling mentioned, how do I find the root cause to why I'm losing customers? Why is my business losing revenue? Regarding this part, I have some experience that I would like to add, because I used to open a spa center, and I have been opening a spa center for more than 20 years. So my recommendation would be to avoid losing your customers and not knowing why you're losing customers. So I would suggest that after each course or after each treatment, you can provide a satisfaction survey. This is very important, because if today a client went through your treatment and the next day we would suggest you to call this customer to do a follow-up to see if the customer is satisfied with yesterday's treatment. Is there anything that we would need to improve? You need to do this follow-up process. If you can do this, then basically it will have a pretty solid foundation for you, because it will help you avoid losing customers. And the second part, where we talked about the employees and the staffs, you need to have educational trainings for your employees and staffs. You need to always be able to have your staff's techniques keep up with the trend. So it's an ever learning process. And the third part is you need to reduce the fluid of your staffs. You want to evade them from jumping from different clinics to another one, because the customers will be accustomed to your service. Because when a customer goes to your store, basically they're all naked and waiting for you to serve them. So that requires trust, and that requires a sense of safety. So they want to have they want to have the same beautician that serves them. So we want to avoid our staffs from jumping to other businesses. And we also have to frequently review our status and position when compared to our competitors. When we talk about competitiveness, we talk about the pricing, also what kind of treatments you offer. Do you stand out from your competitors? Are you cheaper than your competitors? do you have any competitive advantage compared to your competitors? Now, if you can pay attention to all these details during your daily lives, the first point is after the treatment, when the customer goes home, you need to have a follow-up call on the next day to kind of survey your satisfaction level. The second point is that you need to you need to continue to improve your employee and staff's techniques so that your techniques can keep up with the trend, and also all the techniques are consistent. So as a boss, you won't need to worry about your customers losing faith in your clinic, and you won't need to worry about your staffs giving something extra to the customers inside the rooms. And also, we want to lower their intention of leaving your clinic, because the customer is here to relax, so they want to see the same beautician serving them. They don't want to see another one each time. And also, we need to frequently review what is your competitive advantage compared to the market and your competitors. This is pretty related to how we label our treatment prices. So I suggest you to not cut your prices or not give out discounts on a daily basis. You can use it according to your special promotions on special events, but don't do it on a daily basis, because if you lower the price, it will also affect the quality of the customer. So these are the advice that I would like to give you according to my 20 or so experience in the spa industry. Thank you. And the next question is, how do we start a business without being afraid of it might fail? So regarding to the question, how do we start a business without being afraid of it might fail? Now, this is kind of a mindset. Basically, if you're confident in your techniques and your professionalism, and when you have natural products and it's not very injection type of product, then basically the success rate of these kind of businesses is pretty high. And of course, you need to continue to learn and improve your knowledge and skills. You need to keep up with the trend. You need to open your eyes to what this era wants. So right now, everybody wants natural, wants herbal. They want to have these kind of treatments. So if you have these treatments, then if you reach these standards, basically the customers will be willing to go to your place. And if you have your professionalism, you pay attention to details, you are very friendly, and you're very customer facing, because customers want trust. They go to your place because they have trust in you. Now, I have more than 10 years experience. Usually my customers will follow me, and a lot of my customers still follow me until today because they believe your knowledge, they believe that you're a professional, and they trust you. Because when you trust someone, you will trust someone entirely. So my beautician, over the past 15 years, they have been following me, following my products. So if you're sure that you're going to start a business in the beauty industry, I guarantee you that it is a future trend. Whether it's now or not, when you enter this beauty industry, it is always the time. The earlier you step into this beauty industry, the better, because besides making yourself healthier, it could also make you more beautiful, and it could also bring you a lot of money. Now, when you're starting a business, you need to have determination and devotion. Don't start a business and mind some other business. Okay, so when a person is living healthy, being healthy is the most important thing. And nowadays people live longer than before. We want to live longer and be healthy. We don't want to live longer and stay in the hospital the whole time. So I'd rather have a healthy life and have a balanced life rather than laying in the hospital bed all day. So the future industry will, of course, align with the genetic health and beauty industry. So the better you start up your business, the better you are. Now, how do we cut the cost of a startup? Like mentioned before, we have the mobile beauty service. You can start from your families, start from your friends. The benefit of this is that you will have a more control over your customers, and also they are trusting you and they are willing to trust you. So we can start by our close friends or our families and gradually move outwards. the products don't need to be famous products. So you need to be you need to pay attention to what the time or what the era wants, whether it's natural or herbal. It doesn't need to be a famous brand. So as long as you have professionalism and knowledge, don't be afraid of failure. I'm pretty sure that you'll become healthy, more beautiful, and earn more money. Thank you. Regarding to the same question, I would like to add something like from my experience, from nothing to creating my own business. Once you have determination to start a business, don't be afraid of failures, because if once you start worrying about failure, then this whole process will actually become very wobbly and unstable. Now, my advice is once you are devoted to starting up, you should have 4 points in mind. And the first point is that you need to understand your capital level. Do you have enough money? How much money do you have? The second is, do you have enough professional knowledge? Do you have professional techniques? The third part is, do you have a good product or service to offer to the customers? So like Kevin mentioned, nature. It needs to be natural, it needs to be herbal. And the fourth is how do you gather your customers? How do you target your customers? How do you make your business noticeable to customers so that they will come to you? Now, most of my students will ask me a question, and that is, teacher, when I start up a studio, how do I find my customers? Where do they come from? How do I find them? And this is one of the key points that we are talking about. Now, there's like a platform called Liet. This platform basically offers mobile beauticians, and also there's the customer, and there's also the maintainer of the platform. Today, if we kind of combine all these together, then basically we provide a platform for the customers to find the service they want, and we also help the beauticians find the customers they want. So it kind of acts as a bridge to bridge the two sides together. So you don't really need to worry about not having customers. Now, you can find these kind of websites or platforms. Now, I also like to offer 3 different advice to you. And the first is really need to put your heart to it. You need to be mindful, and you need to pay attention to details. So you need to pay attention to details. You need to think from the customer's perspective, and you need to really put your heart into it. So I believe if you put all these 3 into your consideration and into your mindset, I believe that your customers will keep on coming. They won't lose faith in you. So this is my sharing with you. Would you like to add anything, Mr. Lin? A student mentioned how to provide Chinese medicine related services. Now, as mentioned by Kevin, which is implementing Chinese medicine with beauty industries. I understand that in Western countries, there are less Chinese medicine elements. So let's divide this into 2 parts. The first part is, do you wish to collaborate with Chinese medicine, or do you just want to maybe use some of the concepts from the Chinese medicine? If you are collaborating with a Chinese medicine doctor, then your professionalism is beauty and his professionalism is Chinese medicine. From a doctor's perspective, he thinks that he is higher than you. Then maybe the doctor will want to lead this whole business cooperation. Now, because the professionals and knowledge on both sides are different, so the best way is actually to create a relationship as a friend and have discussions. What are the things that I can take from the Chinese medicine? What are some concepts I can apply? And also, what are some beauty techniques that I can combine with the Chinese medicine part? And the second thing that we want to talk about is, besides using the Chinese medicine theories and concepts and embedding it into the beauty industry, we need to make sure that we understand that our root business is the beauty industry. Now, of course, I'm not suggesting that to use a lot of these fancy Chinese medicine terms. I suggest we to learn it by heart. For example, if we use 五行, then how should I implement it into my beauty industry? Actually, in Western countries right now, the Wuxing concept is more scarce and is a bit more mystical in the Western hemisphere. However, in the Asian cultures, this is very popular, and there are a lot of apps using the same concept. Some apps you just need to enter the date of birth and also the year of the birth, then they will help you calculate what kind of element is the customer lacking in, and they will help you calculate which element is maybe too much, which element is too less. Then we can help the customers according to these kind of analysis. So say, for example, if someone's fire is too high, maybe during the summertime, in the East, we will drink some privileges that are a bit more bitter or a bit more sour to kind of lower the fire element. Now, of course, this is do you need to learn from the beginning? You don't really need to learn from the beginning. What you need is to maybe go to some relevant courses that teach you the basics of the Wuxing theory. Or if you find a good software or a good app that could help you with this, or maybe a website, you only need to enter the customer's data. Then it will tell you the analysis according to the Wuxing theory. Now, if you use this type, then it will become more simple for you because you only need to prepare the correspondence and collaterals of the environments that is related to the fire, wood, earth, metal, and water. Now you will ask me, do I need to prepare a white room, a red room, or dark room? These kind of rooms, actually you don't need to do that because once you go into a room, you can actually use a projector or different LED color lights to project the different images and different atmospheres. And regarding to the music that they are listening to when you are doing the treatment on the clients, maybe when they are listening to the music, they will listen to some instruments, or it will be some rivers flowing water sound, or it will be some instrumental musics. Now, there are a lot of these musics that you can find on YouTube or on iTunes. You can find these kind of relevant musics. They will help you in the process of this Wuxing theory treatment. So I would suggest you to use some mature websites or apps from the East, and these can help you analyze your customer. Then once you enter the customer's data, you can help customize the customer's treatment. It will make it simpler for you. Now, our next question is that a student asked us if we are already making money, how do we lower the cost? Now, regarding to this part, let me allow Mr. Ling to answer this question. Now, when you already have revenue, you want to lower the cost. That is actually the ideal situation. Every boss is thinking about this question. So this is basically saying you can imagine yourself as a boss right now, and when you write down all your cost and revenue each day, like I mentioned, the FM analysis, that is basically categorizing your customers. You know how to categorize your customers. However, you need to also pay attention to how do you change a fixed cost into a fluctuating cost. Now, how do we do that? Basically, it is what I mentioned before. Although we can't reduce the cost of the rent, but we can have a more flexible pay for our beauticians. I'm not saying that you should lower the cost of your employees. I'm saying that we should change it into a more incentive way. We should have a basic salary for them, but make a maybe bonus mechanism for them. So the harder they work, or the better they perform their job, they will have a higher pay. So when we lower the cost, then you will find that the revenue actually goes up and your profit goes up. So if you make more money, your employee also makes more money. Now, this can also help lower your cost, but at the same time, it will also share the benefits and share the fruitful results of the revenue with your employees. Now, I know a beauty salon who only has 5 beauticians, and after analysis, they realize that they have the moment when they have the most revenue is when doing a special event or a special festival. Usually at that time they can have 4 to 5 times of their monthly salary. But of course it's not Christmas every day, so what we suggested them is that during the end of the year, we will further enhance the sales there. So full power during the peak periods of special events, and then on the other days we will label them as resting days and business as usual days. So we will categorize the different seasons and different times, and also the employees could accept this concept because during these special events they have better salary, and they will actually like this kind of salary mechanism, because if they have a fixed salary, they don't care about the revenue at all. So if they don't care about the revenue, they won't give their best job and they won't give their best insight when they are working. So a bonus mechanism is actually pretty beneficial for both sides. For the boss, you can actually control your costs, and also you can share your profit with your employees, and they will also be happy. So creating a win-win situation is my answer to this question. Thank you. So regarding to the same question, I would like to add a few of my experiences and some suggestions as well. And that is, when I was managing my spa, all the beauticians are actually take up most of my cost. That's a human resource cost. So what I did was, with my beauticians, I divided into two parts. The first is you can have a low fixed salary and a high bonus rate, or you can do it the opposite way. When you have a low bonus but a higher fixed salary. Now, if you have 100 revenue, how do you achieve a win-win situation? And that is, you can actually divide it into 30%, 30%, and 30%. The first 30%, you can deduct that as the total cost, and then you will have 60% left. And as the owner, I want to earn 30% as well. So 30% will come into my pocket, and then the last 30% will go to all the employees. So if you use this 30%, 30%, 30%, or triple three strategy, then basically it will help benefit your business. Usually when a beautician is working, they want to get their desired pay, and they also want to get their sense of accomplishment, and they will understand that because they are employed, the boss also needs to pay for the cost of the rent and also the utilities. So for the beauticians, will basically be understandable, and if you have a good bonus mechanism in place, then they will also appreciate this mechanism, because the harder they work, the more money they will make, and they are more willing to stay rather than go find another company. So that is my experience that I want to share with you. More questions are coming from the Spanish room. Another question that was raised was, when I'm in the hair salon business and I have some experience, how do I raise the price without losing my customers? Now, this question is actually not a hard question, because the basic services are the same, but how do we increase the revenue? Then basically we need to raise some of the prices on the menu. So to my customers, of course, I have a loyal customer who is used to these kind of pricing, and of course, some of my customers would expect a maybe higher quality service or a better service. So this is actually a part of the customer management, and for these customers, we will offer them some special services. So, for example, if we're all talking about washing the hair, I could maybe just wash the hair, very simple wash the hair, but I can also add some other elements into it, like maybe massaging your head and also using some serums or using some some special products for this customer when you are washing their hair. Now maybe maybe the shampoo I use is special. Maybe I'll add a little element into the shampoo that has some fragrance, and so it will have a different kind of experience. Maybe we can add some mint into it, so when you are washing the hair, when there's mint in it, then they will feel very comfortable and very freshening, and so they will feel like the skin on their head are actually reviving, but actually it's just using a different shampoo than the ordinary customers, and you can also wash the hair for a bit longer. So for these customers, they think that they have the time and they have the money, so they are more willing to stay maybe for another half an hour to take care of their heads and their hair, and they will enjoy the whole process of being washed, their hair being washed by use. Now, pay attention. What I'm saying now is actually saying the different pricings. It won't really affect the customers that are accustomed to the ordinary pricings. And also in Taiwan, there is another service, and that is when they're having their hair being washed, they will also massage your lymphs. And so when they're laying there and they're having their hair washed, we will use shampoos and also use some other products to massage their face at the same time. Now, these facial massages, it's kind of vague between if they are in the facial industry or in the hair industry. But if you add these kind of additional services, you can maybe add an additional 30 USD to that service. And this is what we're seeing in the Taiwanese market right now. I have two pricings. I have the pricing for my ordinary customers, where they're only here for the ordinary services. But if you want to have additional value up services or these more luxury services, then we can offer these kind of services as well. And during these special services, we will add more elements into the shampoo, or maybe add a massage into the whole process, or maybe add some massage onto the facial part, or maybe I can help you massage your neck or maybe your back. So for the customers, they will think that once they go to a hair salon, they can actually experience and enjoy different kinds of treatments. So this would also help you increase your revenue without losing the customers that can't afford higher services. Now, this would be my answer to this question. I would like to add something according to my experience, like what Mr. Ling mentioned. His friend is in this hair salon business, then I have a small suggestion here, and that is if we can raise the pricing, we can achieve this by adding some new elements into the products. We can add some mints, add some serums, add some fragrance, or add some sweetness into the shampoo to have them feel different. So that is the first part, where you increase or add some ingredients into the products. And the second part is you can actually add some new methods into it. You can use the massage methods that we have in the slides in the previous sessions and add it into your whole hair salon session. And the third is you can also add other services. So for example, in the beauty industry in Taiwan, when they are doing a comprehensive spa treatment, they will have a treatment where it's basically having heated towels and have the towels wrap around the head and then have it there for a couple of minutes to kind of relax the whole circulation. Now, during the treatment, you can also add some facial cleansing processes and also some facial massages to the whole treatment. And also you need to pay attention to the skin condition. If you can offer, for example, a difference in the product, and second, different on the techniques, and third, you can also offer a different service into the existing service. So I believe that if you can create a diversified or some add-on services to your services, I believe that you will you can be able to increase the pricing for these kind of services, and at the same time you can when the prices are raised up, you can start to sell some vouchers. So vouchers would be easier, such as, for example, buy 10 get one free, or buy 9 get one free. So you can have a different marketing and selling strategy once you raise the pricing of the service. I would like to express my sincere gratitude for all of you for coming to join this live streaming experience sharing session. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that our experiences are beneficial to you all, and I hope that it will help you in your future startup businesses. And of course, if you have further questions, feel free to talk to the staffs, and we will try to answer all your questions even after this live session. So this is the end for today's session. Thank you very much for participating, and we're looking forward to our next live streaming sharing session. Thank you very much. So this is the end for today's session. Thank you very much, and see you next time.